have an interesting question where we have a rectangle that has a length 2x and a breadth of 3 centimeters, and another rectangle that has a length of x plus 2 and a breadth of 3. And they want us to investigate what happens with the perimeter for different values of x. Well, before we can work out what happens to the perimeter, we actually have to come up with a formula for perimeter. And we know that the perimeter of this rectangle is going to be 2 times the length, which is 2x, plus the breadth, which is 3. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 3 is 6. So the perimeter of this whole rectangle is going to be 4x plus 6. So now let's put in a value of what happens then. What perimeter do we get when x equals 1? Well, 4 times 1 would be 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. When x is 2, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. So here we can see that there's a pattern, isn't there? It's just plus 4 each time. So without even calculating, we could see 22 there. Let's just double check it to me. 4 times 4, 4x, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 6 is 22, yes. But now we said, okay, what happens when x equals 10 then? Well, 4 times x when x equals 10, 4 times 10 would be 40, plus 6 would be 46. What about when x is 100? 4 times x, 4 times 100 is 400, plus 6, 406. So now we know what the perimeter of the rectangle A would be. Let's see what happens when we put different values of x into here. First, we need to work out what the perimeter of x would be. The perimeter of this rectangle would be 2 lots of the length, which is x plus 2, plus the breadth, which is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, so we'd get 2 lots of x plus 2 lots of 5, which would be 10. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 outside the bracket gets multiplied by what's inside the bracket. 2 times 5 is 10. This could be simplified to 2x plus 2 times x plus 5. Whenever we have numbers outside the bracket, the number outside the bracket gets multiplied by the number inside. 2 times x gives us 2x, but we also have to multiply the 2 by the plus 5. And 2 times 5 gives us 10. So we now know the perimeter of the square B. It's 2 times x plus 10. What happens when x equals 1 then? Well, 2 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 10 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 10, 14. When x equals 3, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 10, 16. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 10, 18. 2 times 10, because x is 10 now, is 20. 20 plus 10, 30. 2 times 100 is 200. 200 plus 10, 210. So we can see that the perimeter of rectangle B, for the very first one, it's larger when x only equals 1. But as x gets larger, because here we've got 4 lots of x up here, and here we've only got 2 lots of x, as the number of x gets larger, the larger rectangle with 4x is going to have a larger perimeter. That's what we'd expect. So this one starts larger with the red one being largest, but as x increases, the red one gets a lot smaller than the black one. Okay, what about area then? Well, how do we work out area? Well, the area of a rectangle, we know we take the length, which we know is 2x. That's 2 lots of x, multiplied by the breadth, which is 3. 2 times 3 is 6, so this is 6 lots of x. So the area of our rectangle, the black one, would be 6 times 1 when x is 1. 6 centimeters squared. When x equals 2, 6 times 2, 12 centimeters squared. x equals 3, 18 centimeters squared. When x equals 4, 24 centimeters squared. When x equals 10, 6 times 10, 100. And when x equals 100, 6 times 100, 600. Wait a minute, this was wrong. 6 times 10 is 60. Okay? So here are our areas for the black square. Let's see what happens for our areas then of the red square. We have a length of x plus 2, and we multiply it by the breadth, which is 3. So here we'd get 3x plus 6. So if we'd like to work out what the area then is when x equals 1, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 6 gives us 9 centimeters squared. When x is small, the area is largest. What about when x equals 2? 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12. So here the areas are the same when x equals 2, notice that. What about when x equals 3 then? Well, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15. Now this one starts to run away with a larger area. What about when x equals 4? Well, 3 times 4 is 12, 12 plus 6 is 18 centimeters squared. What about when x equals 10? 3 times 10 is 30, 30 plus 6 is 36. And when x is 100, 3 times 100 is 300, plus 6, 306. So as x gets larger and larger and larger, there's a big difference. We'll get a much larger area with this rectangle as the value of x changes. And that's why we use algebra. We're using algebra to look at and investigate what happens when we have different values of x. And we just put that number of x into our equation. So wherever we see x here, if x equals 1, we use our equation 4x plus 6, and we just change that to, okay, x equals 1 in the equation 4x plus 6, 4 times, but I know that x equals 1, 4 times 1 plus 6, 4 plus 6, 10. So we just replace x with the real number that they've given us. Okay? And that's how we use algebra. It's all the algebra.